provided by Thomas Allgeier and Frennis, based on the most relevant posts on LinkedIn about electrification and battery technology in CW 33.1. Frennis is a B2B market research company working with enterprises to optimize their campaigns with account and executive insights far beyond AI. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're cutting through the noise to bring you the top electrification and battery technology trends seen across LinkedIn in calendar weeks 30 and 31.
It really is a fascinating time in this sector, wouldn't you say? The pace is just staggering.
It really is.
We've got a stack of insights here that reveal not just what's happening, but, why it matters. Everything from infrastructure breakthroughs, grid-level integration, and the very future of battery chemistry.
Yeah.
We're going to try and uncover some, surprising facts and critical insights for you today.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because the immediate takeaway, I think, from our sources is just how much infrastructure development is picking up speed. It feels like we're finally seeing some real, tangible progress.
Yeah.
Especially for heavy-duty vehicles, which feels like a significant shift.
Absolutely. And what we're seeing isn't just like incremental growth. It feels more like a strategic push towards fleet-level electrification.
Right.
Thomas Allgeier, for instance, he noted that infrastructure players are genuinely scaling up heavy-duty charging. They're moving beyond just pilots to, full-scale adoption.
Yeah.
And we see direct evidence, too. Claudia Viol shared some exciting news about Eon Drive launching Czechia's first public electric heavy-duty truck charging hub. That's in Mužas.
The first one. Wow.
Yeah, and it's equipped with 7 ultra-fast 400-kilowatt chargers.
7 in one hub. That's a serious commitment to commercial transport.
It really is. And Ludolf von Maltzen highlighted Eon Drive Infrastructure's broader rollout of more ultra-fast charging parks across Germany. That's part of the Deutschlandnetz.
Okay.
Also offering up to 400-kilowatt charging, and importantly, all powered by 100% green electricity. So logistics companies are finally getting that dedicated high-power infrastructure they need.
Makes sense.
But, Bjorn Menard raises a crucial point here. He says while electric trucks are technically viable now, the lack of robust, widespread charging infrastructure, that's still a major roadblock for adoption at scale.
That's a crucial reality check, isn't it? All this amazing tech. But if the user experience falls apart on the ground,
Exactly.
it highlights that the last mile of charging convenience is just as vital. So, okay, beyond heavy duty, what about public charging for passenger vehicles? Are we seeing initiatives targeting, say, access for people without driveways?
Yeah, the focus is definitely broadening. They're recognizing those exact pain points. Prasanth Thomas and Abby Graham both highlighted updates from the UK, where $63 million is being allocated to expand public chargers. And specifically, it supports households without driveways, plus NHS and commercial fleets. So that's a direct response to a real barrier.
That's significant funding. And, Eugen Philipp Pinko-Siebert observes something subtle but kind of important. Legacy fuel stations are starting to add EV charging prices to their big signs.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, it's a small detail, but it sort of normalizes EV charging right alongside petrol or diesel. Psychologically quite powerful.
Those small steps, they're vital for public perception, for integration.
Yeah.
And on the technical side, Sebastian Metzler shared a really interesting insight about dynamic load management tools.
Okay.
Turns out charging points initially may be throttled to 50 kilowatters. They can now be lifted to full capacity after 12 months. This boosts utilization for thousands of existing DC points.
That is smart, making the most of what's already there.
Right. Clever.
And David Lutkan seems to be taking that idea further, calling for a complete rethink of EV charging to really support adoption. He's advocating for faster shared infrastructure in cities and businesses.
Yeah, rather than just putting the onus on individual companies, it's about optimizing the whole system.
Exactly.
And, the success stories are starting to show up. Piotr Polak and Stian Matheson reported that Norway, a real EV pioneer, now has over 10,000 fast chargers.
10,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And only 14 municipalities still lack them. That's an incredible leap from just 300, 10 years ago. Shows what focused investment can do.
Norway's progress is remarkable. But, Henri Overbeek offers a bit of a practical perspective on the heavy vehicle charging. He emphasizes that Megawatt Charging, MCS, it isn't widely available yet. And plug and charge, which sounds simple, actually requires pretty complex system integration.
Right. So the vision is there, but the practicalities are still catching up sometimes.
Exactly.
And Benjamin Haddock sort of reinforced this. He shared a frustrating experience with, Poor interconnectivity, random failures, payment issues for EV charging in Italy and France.
That's right there.
Yeah, it really drives home that while we're making strides globally, the user experience can still be really inconsistent sometimes. Sometimes the simplest problems are the hardest to solve at scale, right?
That really brings it back to the end user, doesn't it? You can have all the gigawatts you want, but if the payment system is glitchy, it's a non-starter. But on a more positive note, Steve Taylor recapped some significant investments, like EVgo securing US $225 million credit facility for network expansion.
Right.
So that signals ongoing investor confidence, despite maybe some regional issues. The money's still flowing in.
Which leads us neatly into the next big area.
Okay.
Because here's where it gets really interesting, I think.
Okay.
The idea of EVs not just consuming power, but actively contributing back to the grid, vehicle to grid, V2G.
Right, turning your car into a kind of mobile power plant.
Yeah.
Igor Zarapovs and Thomas Allgeier mentioned Europe's largest V2G car-sharing fleet just launched in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
We're talking 500 bidirectional Renault EVs providing real-world grid flexibility. That's a huge pilot.
It truly is. And Dylan Lucas made a really compelling point about how EVs could actually generate revenue by selling electricity back, potentially turning maybe a daily 50-cent offset into like $5 by selling during peak demand. That fundamentally changes the economics of owning an EV. Your car could literally pay you back.
That's a powerful incentive, definitely. Wade Sheffer also updated us on the GM and Disney reimagined test track.
Oh, yeah.
Showcasing GM Energy's bidirectional home charging. So powering homes during outages, supporting the grid. And Tracy Ross mentioned BMW's iX3 New Class will also support bidirectional charging. Home power could look very different soon.
And this powerful vision, it's actually backed by some solid evidence now regarding battery health, which is often a concern.
Right, the degradation issue.
Exactly. Steve Latondra and Thomas Allgeier noted, independent studies are showing negligible battery degradation from VDG cycling. That really strengthens the economic case.
That is good news. Takes away a major worry for people.
It's a huge hurdle cleared, yeah.
Indeed. It means VDG isn't just some futuristic concept anymore. So, okay, what does this all mean for wider adoption? Seems like there's still hurdles, but clear paths forward, too.
Well, Davide De Macchino offered a really comprehensive view. He explained V2G as a structural shift. It needs alignment across data sharing standards, things like ISO 1F1 1820 and OCPP.
Those are the technical protocols, right? The languages they speak.
Exactly. The digital languages for EVs and chargers to talk complex commands, plus alignment on grid connection rules like ASOR network codes and these virtual power plant platforms, VPPs.
Okay, VPPs.
Yeah, they basically aggregate and manage all these distributed energy resources, like EVs, for optimal grid interaction. He called V2G economically rational and politically overdue. Makes sense when cars sit idle 95% of the time, right?
Yeah, but that's a striking statistic. It does seem irrational not to leverage that stored energy. So it's the whole ecosystem, not just the car.
Precisely. And Julie Del Vecchio's insight adds to this. She thinks EVs could be key in shaping and firming the electricity market, all that flexible storage in thousands of batteries. However, Dr. Christopher Hetch from US Scale GmbH shared findings from their bidirectional charging study. Showed early adopters are twice as likely to use public charging, and there's a strong unwillingness to pay more than maybe €1,500 for BD upgrades.
Ah, the cost factor.
Right. This could push for AC solutions where the cost might be integrated into the vehicle from the factory, making it sort of invisible to the buyer.
That financial aspect is definitely critical for mass adoption. Seems like the upgrade cost needs to be minimal. But good news from Michael Keller and Klaus Bracklow, too.
Yeah, they updated that industry players are already prepping for standards convergence at the CHAR and V2G Testival 2025 in Berlin. That collaboration is essential for V2G to really scale.
Good to see that coordination happening.
And we're seeing more practical integration on the ground, too. Miriam Herfurth and Rustam Kocher pointed out how residential PV providers are bundling smart chargers to maximize self-consumption.
Makes sense with solar panels.
Totally. Plus, these battery energy storage systems, BESS, they're being integrated for truck charging where the grid connection is weak, like a giant battery buffer.
Okay.
Ehsan Amami summed it up well, viewing bidirectional charging as a key solution for power balancing in tomorrow's energy systems.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's turn our attention to the heart of the EV revolution. the batteries themselves. We're seeing some incredible leaps forward here.
Yeah.
Not just capacity, but faster charging, new chemistries, and really crucial steps towards sustainability.
That's right. The headlines are genuinely eye-popping sometimes. Thomas Allgaier and George Kazantzis reported on Huawei patenting a 3,000-kilometer solid-state battery.
3,000 kilometers.
Yeah, promising 5-minute charging, too. George Kazantzis called it an exciting signal of where EV innovation is headed. I mean, 3,000-kilometer range, 5-minute charge, almost unimaginable today.
It certainly challenges every assumption about range anxiety and charge times, doesn't it? But how quickly can these lab breakthroughs actually, get into cars people can buy?
Well, some are closer than you might think. Jerry Wan called MG's introduction of a semi-solid pack in its new MG4 EV a game changer. Because of its affordability, apparently. And it aced safety tests, improved cold weather performance. That's a big step towards commercial viability.
Okay, semi-solid. Interesting.
Meanwhile, Hans Christian Henbeck and Pablo Garcia Jimenez highlighted BYD's flash charging demo, also matched that 5-minute benchmark for passenger cars.
Right.
Capable of 400-kilometer range in 5 minutes. And get this, BYD already has over 500 operational 1 milliW chargers in China, so this isn't just theory.
501 megawatt chargers. Wow, okay, these speeds and ranges are mind-blowing. But what about the life cycle, sustainability, manufacturing that's just as crucial?
Absolutely critical. The debonding on-demand adhesives mentioned by Thomas Allgaier and Frank Kirsten, they called them groundbreaking.
Like groundbreaking.
Because they enable easy battery pack disassembly. This fundamentally supports circular design, repairability, maybe for the first time on a large scale.
That is a huge step for sustainability, making batteries truly part of a circular economy. Yeah. Dr. Christian Marston shared news that Altilium is pioneering the UK's first green EV batteries from recycled materials, apparently exceeding the new EU regulations for minimum recycled content already. And David Cartwright highlighted their progress on building a commercial-scale plant, ACT3, to process 24,000 EV batteries a year.
And Ella Vanderhaar provided a fantastic real-world example of circularity. Redwood Materials repurposed over 700 retired EV packs for a 63 milliwatt energy storage system.
But what?
Powering a data center in Nevada. Shows the economic and speed-to-market benefits, extending battery life before eventual recycling.
That's incredibly smart reuse, finding new purpose. Julian Renpenning's digest also covered things like Bascavolt winning a grant for solid-state electrolytes, Swolt starting trials of semi-solid-state batteries.
Yeah, lots of material science breakthroughs happening.
And Norbert Prahl updated that the German government is putting over 100 million into Volcan Energy's lithium project.
Right, for domestic decarbonized lithium production in Germany.
Exactly. All critical steps for more localized, sustainable supply chains.
Reduces reliance on overseas sourcing. Minimizes the footprint, yeah. Mark Unler also brought up innovative strategies for scaling battery production efficiently, moving beyond just the gigafactory trap towards maybe more flexible, smaller facilities, being agile.
Okay, it's clear innovation is moving at lightning speed. But with this speed, there have got to be technical considerations, challenges, safety aspects.
For sure. For instance, Dr. Georg Anjan and Elizabeth Oliphant warned about lithium plating during fast charging.
Lithium plating, what's that?
It's a critical issue where basically metallic lithium can dangerously deposit on the battery's electrodes. It reduces capacity, speeds up aging, and poses safety risks.
Okay, that sounds bad.
It is. It highlights the urgent need for dynamic charging protocols that can intelligently manage that process. So fast charging needs to be smart fast charging.
Got it. Smart speed.
Indeed. And Jürgen Schiel dove deep into immersion cooling. He cited Pranav Nagavekar's work examining how it could redefine EV battery safety and performance.
Immersion cooling.
Yeah, submerging the cells directly in dielectric fluid. It's a special non-conductive liquid that pulls heat away way more efficiently than air cooling. Could be a game changer for managing heat, allowing faster, safer charging.
Interesting.
And Giacomo Tuveri noted that Keysight is releasing megawatt-class test benches now to shorten validation cycles for all this next-gen charging hardware, ensure it's compliant and performs well.
Makes sense. Need to test all this powerful new stuff.
Okay, so moving beyond the hardware itself, the brain behind the operations, right? Software and AI, that's becoming equally critical for a seamless experience across the whole EV ecosystem.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Thomas Allgaier and Daniel Kunkel observed that AI-driven platforms are now optimizing customer experience, fleet operations, even energy trading, all in real time. Daniel Kunkel specifically said, AI evolution can enhance EV charging by improving customer experience, energy management, and fleet optimization.
It's truly transformative, right? Taking the manual guesswork out of it. Christian Kurtenbach reflected on the future of EV charging software systems, the CPMS, charge point management systems. He acknowledged AI will be like stage 5 of their evolution. Shows the long-term vision.
Stage 5.
And Dr. Sandeep Bishla detailed how hybrid optimization techniques are being used now for scheduling charging around dynamic tariffs while also protecting battery health, considering costs, battery condition, charger access, all at once.
So it's not just about convenience for the driver. It's about making the grid itself smarter, more resilient, almost predictive.
Exactly that. Thomas Allgaier noted utilities are using virtual grid twins now.
Virtual twins?
Yeah, digital replicas to stress test bidirectional charging and billing flows before they deploy them for real. Helps prevent unforeseen issues at scale by simulating complex scenarios first. It's incredibly proactive.
It really is. And Dr. Julie Hildermeyer and Jop Berger shared recommendations too, right? About aligning renewables with EV charging.
Yeah, using smart mechanisms, urging governments to implement credit mechanisms for renewable electricity used for EV charging, provide real-time grid mix data, making the whole energy system work together better.
Leveraging those renewables properly.
And Casper H. Rasmussen's insights on Monta's load management system, perfect example of this intelligence in action. It optimizes charging with dynamic current allocation, smart rebalancing across plugs, shifting the ROI from just building more expensive infrastructure to smarter orchestration.
We're using software smarts.
And Florian Kolzer basically advised that efficient battery storage and charging need a well-thought-out overall system to be economically viable, especially with the rising electricity prices and grid limits. It's all about that smart integration, end to end.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, new deep dives drop every 2 weeks. Also check out our other editions on future mobility and market evolution, next-gen vehicle intelligence, and commercial fleet insights.
Yeah, as we've explored today, I mean, from those mega hubs for heavy trucks to the promise of, well, almost unbelievable range in batteries, and that transformative potential of vehicle to grid, the mobility industry is just in this constant, thrilling state of evolution. But what really underpins it all, I think, as so many posts highlighted, like Davide Dimicchino on V2G needing alignment, Michael Keller on Sharon's teamwork, is that ongoing need for cross-sector collaboration. The future here isn't just about one tech breakthrough. It's about the seamless integration, the collective efforts of an entire ecosystem working together.
That's a powerful thought to leave you with. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the latest in electrification and battery technology. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive.